Missiles in the sky, drones buzzing like angry bees, civilians running for cover. On May 7, 2025, India and Pakistan were right back on the brink. Embassies were emptied overnight, borders slammed shut, and even the Indus Water Treaty, that rare thread of cooperation they both honored for decades, was frozen. But if you're thinking this was just another bad week in South Asia, think again. This wasn't new. This was history hitting replay again. And that brings up to the question way more terrifying than it sounds. What happens next? To really get what's going on in 2025, we've got to rewind the tape. Because this rivalry, it didn't start this year or last decade. It's a saga of wars, betrayals, and near-nuclear shutdowns, and a border that never seems to stop bleeding. My name is Shyam, and let's unravel this thread. Let's start with the Partition, 1947. The British basically said, "All right, we're out," and left behind two brand new countries, India and Pakistan. Easy on paper, absolute chaos in real life. India became the Hindu majority state, Pakistan the Muslim majority one. But here's the twist no one outside South Asia really talks about. Over 560 princely states were left to decide where they wanted to go, or if they wanted to go anywhere at all. One of those is Kashmir. Now, Kashmir had a majority Muslim population, but the guy in charge, a Hindu king, Maharaja Hari Singh. Pakistan thought, cool, this one's ours. Most Kashmiris expected the same. But the Maharaja, he was like, I'm thinking independence. But Pakistan wasn't a fan of the waiting game. In October 1947, tribal fighters backed by Pakistan stormed into Kashmir to, quote, liberate it. The Maharaja panicked and called India for help. India said, "We've got you, but sign this paper first." The instrument of accession. Basically, join India officially. He signed. Indian troops flew in. And just like that, India and Pakistan were at war, barely 2 months into their independence. This was the first Kashmir War, 1947 to 1949. Thousands died. And when the dust settled, the UN stepped in. A ceasefire was called, Kashmir was split, and the infamous line of control was born. India kept the Kashmir Valley, Jammu and Ladakh. Pakistan got Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. But here's the deal. The UN suggested a plebiscite, a vote by the people of Kashmir to decide their future. That vote never happened. Why? Mistrust, demilitarization debates, a political mess. And ever since then, both sides have claimed Kashmir. Both sides say they are right. And the people caught in middle, still waiting. Fast forward to 1965. Things hadn't cooled. If anything, they were heating up again. Pakistan believed that Kashmiri Muslims under Indian control were just waiting for a chance to rebel and join Pakistan. So they hatched Operation Gibraltar. Sneak in tens of thousands of troops disguised as locals and spark an uprising. But the uprisings never happened. The locals didn't bite. And the infiltrators, they got busted. India fought back. Pakistan escalated with Operation Grand Slam, a full-on assault in Kashmir aimed to capture Akhnur, a critical supply route. Some gains were made, but India hit back with offensives across Punjab, Rajasthan, and Kashmir. Now, we're talking tank battles, like legit World War II level tank showdown. At Hajipir, Indian troops took a vital infiltration route after a brutal mountain fight. At Asal Uttar, India halted Pakistan's advance towards Amritsar in what's considered one of the largest tank battles post-World War II. At Chawinda, near Sialkot, Pakistani forces held firm in another massive tank clash. Meanwhile, the sky lit up. The Indian Air Force's fallen knots took out Pakistani Sabres, and on Pakistani side, pilot M.M. Alam became a legend, reportedly downing 5 Indian jets in under a minute. Eventually, in September 1965, the UN said, "Enough. Ceasefire." They hit reset with the Tashkent Declaration in 1966. But Kashmir, still unresolved. Now, the 1971 war. This wasn't even about Kashmir. This time, the fire started inside Pakistan itself. East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, was done being sidelined by the West Pakistan elite. The Awami League won national elections, but the power wasn't handed over. Cue protests, crackdowns. Operation Searchlight, a horrific military campaign with mass killings, violence, and reports of genocide. 10 million refugees flooded into India. Economically, socially, it was overwhelming. India had enough. On December 3, 1971, India launched a massive air, land, and sea campaign. In just 13 days, Pakistani forces in the east surrendered. 93,000 soldiers laid down arms. Bangladesh was born. That surrender was one of the largest since World War II, and just like that, the map of South Asia changed forever. Quick pause. If you made it this far, you're clearly into these deep dives. So why not hit that subscribe button? We unpack the conflicts that shape our world and the stories most people miss. Alright, back to the chaos. After 1971, both countries kinda took a breather. They signed the Simla Agreement in 1972. There were cricket matches, trade deals, and even bus diplomacy. Then, 1998 happened. Both India and Pakistan went nuclear. Global powers freaked out. But weirdly, it pushed the two countries back to the table. In 1999, Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee traveled to Lahore. There were handshakes, speeches, and the Lahore Declaration. Peace was in the air. And then Kargil. While everyone was celebrating, Pakistani troops and militants crossed the line of control and occupied strategic peaks in the Kargil sector. Turns out, the plan was orchestrated by Pakistan's army chief, Pervez Musharraf, and the civilian government didn't even know the full extent of it. The war that followed was brutal and icy, literally. High-altitude warfare in Himalayas. India launched Operation Vijay to reclaim lost ground. Then, US stepped in. President Bill Clinton applied major pressure on Pakistan. Eventually, Pakistan pulled back. But the message was clear. Peace in South Asia is fragile, and Kashmir, still the ticking time bomb underneath it all. So, what have we learned? Kashmir is the heartbeat of this rivalry. It's the unresolved thread in every conflict. Outside powers always jump in. UN in 48, Soviets in 65, and US in 99. This isn't just a regional issue, it's global. And despite 4 wars, nothing has really changed, Sure, we get ceasefires, we get declarations, even surrenders. But peace, real lasting peace, that's always temporary. These aren't just history lessons, they are warnings, because unresolved tension doesn't just go away, it waits, smolders, and eventually ignites. Let's fast forward to 2025. Things were already tense. Kashmir has always been a sore spot, but after Pulwama attack in 2019, things got downright hostile. 40 Indian soldiers were killed in a suicide bombing. India blamed Pakistan. Pakistan denied it, the usual back and forth. But no real resolution. Just more mistrust, more bitterness. Then came April 22nd, 2025. In Pahalgam, a scenic tourist spot in Kashmir known for its pine forests and mountain views, a group of 5 armed militants stormed into Baisaran Valley, targeting tourists. But this wasn't just a random act of violence. It was methodical. The attackers reportedly asked tourists to state their religion. Anyone who didn't pass their Muslim litmus test, executed. In total, 26 civilians were killed. Hindu pilgrims, a Christian traveler, even a local Muslim was shot for trying to intervene. It was one of the deadliest attacks on civilians in years. Who did it? Initially, a group called the Resistance Front, allegedly tied to Lashkar-e-Taiba, claimed responsibility, but then they denied it. Instead, they blamed Indian intelligence for faking the claim. Pakistan offered to support a neutral third-party investigation. India shut that down. Instead, India pointed fingers squarely at Pakistan, accusing them of supporting cross-border terrorism. And just like that, the dominoes started falling. On the night of May 6th, India launched a massive air and missile strikes across 9 locations inside Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Pakistan immediately retaliated. They claimed they were hit in only 6 places, not 9. They said they intercepted several missiles and shot down 5 Indian fighter jets. India, for its part, said nope, didn't happen, and instead released satellite images showing bombed-out radar stations in cities like Sargodha, Murid, and Rawalpindi. Who's telling the truth? Depends on who you ask. On May 7th, the 2 air forces engaged in what's now being called one of the largest aerial standoffs in modern history. Reports say around 125 fighter jets were airborne at once. But here's the twist. They never crossed into enemy airspace. Instead, both sides fired long-range missiles from over 100 miles away. Nobody wanted another 2019 moment when India's MiG-21 pilot was shot down and captured on Pakistani TV. India accused Pakistan of launching drone and missile attacks on 3 of its bases. Pakistan denied it. Meanwhile, they claimed to have downed 25 Indian surveillance drones and responded by targeting Indian military positions, with early warnings issued to avoid civilian harm. Still, civilians died. India reported 16 civilian deaths in border villages. Pakistan said they lost 31 people, including both soldiers and civilians, and over 50 injured from Indian airstrikes. This was no longer just about Kashmir or militant groups. India expelled all Pakistani diplomats, suspended the Indus Water Treaty, announced a full trade ban. And Pakistan, they shut down the airspace starting May 10th, grounding flights across Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi. They pulled out of the Simla Agreement and accused India at the United Nations, calling for international intervention. And suddenly, we were staring down the barrel of a 5th war between nuclear powers. Then, something weird happened. On May 10th, Donald Trump, announced on Truth Social that a ceasefire had been brokered. No press conference, no international summit, just a post. Boom. Pakistan thanked the US for stepping in. India played it cool, saying the truce was bilaterally negotiated. But let's be real. The world knows how close we were to the disaster. Without American pressure, this probably wouldn't have stopped. So, what now? Let's not sugarcoat this. The 2025 flare-up was not an outlier. It fits a pattern that's been repeating over 7 decades. Border skirmish, diplomatic breakdown, escalation, ceasefire. Rinse and repeat. And at the core of this issue, still Kashmir. As long as that wound stays open, peace will be temporary. A pause, never a resolution. Both countries are fueled by nationalism, hardened by history, and haunted by unresolved trauma. Even a small incident, one mistake, can turn deadly fast. The current ceasefire is basically a band-aid on a bullet wound. Behind all the missiles, jets, and press statements are people. Real people, families in border villages, civilians caught in crossfires, tourists who just want to ride ponies in the mountains, kids who've learned to tell the sound of a jet from a drone. While politicians posture and soldiers fight, the scars left behind, they are permanent. This isn't just a South Asian story. It's a global one. 2 nuclear powers, 1 unresolved conflict, and decades of mistrust. We've been here before, and unless something changes, we'll be here again. Peace? It's not impossible, but it's gonna take visionary leadership, diplomatic courage, and massive public pressure. Until then, we sit on a powder keg and pray nobody lights a match. If you think these stories matter and that peace deserves more attention than war, don't just scroll away. Share this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into stories that world can't afford to ignore. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.